Suffering is the one that a number of times we don't want to talk about because always people want to have a time of joy, time of jubilation, time of celebration. But when you come to talk about suffering, is one of the things that people wouldn't want to talk about. But just in a couple of days, I'll be addressing the subject on Christian suffering. Why do Christians suffer? It's actually a mystery, where people normally ask, why do the righteous suffer or go through all the time? And that's very true because we are on this world. Jesus himself indicated that in this world we'll encounter trouble, but the motivation of us will be of good cheer, for we will be able to overcome a problem or trouble or tribulation. And so I'll be talking about Christian suffering for this couple of days. And today I want to look at one of the individuals who went through this. And in fact, in this series, I'll be able to look at various characters in the Bible, actually, both in the Old Testament and also in the New Testament, who went through time of suffering. And so one of the individuals I want to look at today is just a man like you and I. His name is Job. It's a character in the Bible that you can't talk actually about suffering and just miss out about this man of God, Job. If I'll just read a verse from Job 1 and verse 21, the Bible indicates, and he said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. Actually, he is Job, who is kind of summarizing after he lost everything. Then Job chapter 1 begins by giving a wonderful, wonderful description of actually a Christian or a person, or a man or a woman of God. It starts by indicating that, Job was a blameless man. He was an upright man. He was a man who really hated evil. Then immediately after that, in fact, what follows is suffering, came upon his life by losing his sons, by losing his property. And, and to make the matter worse, he got sick in his body to an extent that even shook about his family. His own dear wife actually told him, man, you need to do a bit of common sense here. You're about to die. Why continue believing this God and die? But the Bible says, Job himself said, God, I'm not going to forsake you. Even if you slay me, I'll still trust in you. So Christian suffering, why do we suffer as believers? I think there is a place for suffering. And one of the things I want to say, even this particular time, is actually suffering normally builds, our muscles as Christians. It normally helps us, now and then to be strong. In fact, James says, when we persevere, suffering or the trials or temptations, then actually spiritually we'll be stronger than we were before. So one thing is suffering brings us resilience. We are able to actually overcome trials and temptation when they come our way. But also the other thing is we're able to grow from one glory to the other as believers. Maybe today I'm doing what I'm doing as a believer because I've not encountered actually a particular trial. But when that trial comes, in some way, I'll be able to grow to the next stage as a believer, and I'll be able to get maturer or stronger in my faith in God. So that's the second thing I see why actually we suffer. But also the second one is also Jesus suffered as well. And so it's a role model to us that he suffered, but he won the battle. So it's something we learn also as believers, as Christians, that actually trials, temptation, and the suffering, they help us now to grow to the next stage. And also they help us to realize that, suffering comes in our life, not because God hates us, but want to prepare us to be his children. So let's look closely to this, maybe next time when we meet for the next video we are going to do. But the point is, and the beauty of all this is, suffering don't kill us, but they make us to be great and wonderful leaders, and the great leaders even in this generation.